I'm Reece Wilson, you're watching Vital, and this is my new bike. I am 5'9", 22 years old, and from sunny Scotland. This is a Trek Session 9.9. It's an extra large with the cups back at the moment. I'm not sure what the exact measurements are, but it feels good. I have done approximately 2 days on this bike in total. That has been it. But it felt like home straight away. I was on these bikes in 2015, so it's changed a bit, but felt exactly the same. Went up a size just for those high-speed World Cup tracks nowadays, and yeah, she feels mint. Ooh, I'd say the one place that really shocked me after the couple of different bikes I've been on the last few years is the progression. It actually progresses really well when you. There was a couple of flatlands, and I do enjoy flatlands, so when we were out in Cali I wanted to test that, and pulled off a few flat drops, and yeah, when you land it just generates forward momentum rather than just sinking into the ground. So that part for me, being a flatland hucker, is definitely my favourite feature. It's an extra large frame. It's got the, I think, 63.5 head angle, and I have the cups back to make the reach slightly smaller, and I believe it's something like 4mm longer than a large, but I'm not sure about the exact length, but it feels good. Go with that, solid. Boost. Spring rate on this bike is a 475. I know we've done a little bit of fiddling with different shock tuning, and we're fiddling around with shocks, so I'm not 100% sure what's going on inside, but again, it's all good stuff. Pressures for the forks, I haven't got a clue, to be perfectly honest. When the rubber ring reaches maximum consistently, you're at the right pressure, and that's where we're at the moment. Tyres vary totally from different track. I'm quite a nibbler with tyre pressure, so I'm normally around the 27, 28 on run 1, depending how rocky it is or how fast you want to roll. And then on the front, like 24 to 26 maybe. So quite soft. I try and be smooth for how much I huck. Quite smooth. As far as dials go, again, I'm not really too fussy. I just keep riding it and clicking until it feels about right. I think I can remember on shock we're about 6 clicks from completely open, so 6 clicks closed. Kind of try and just do it on spring rate, make sure it feels right there, and if sag and everything's right, then normally you're where you need to be. Forks, I try and run like almost no high speed, but there's so many different people telling you so many different things on suspension. I don't really know what the right way around to do it is, but if you can get that nice plush suppleness off the top and a good ramp up with your tokens, you're normally where you need to be. So again, I think it's pretty dialed where we are, but I don't know the exact numbers. Tyres, this is first year on Bontrager for me, so we're just kind of testing these out. These are the G5s at the minute. It's pretty much everybody's go-to that's been on Bontrager for most hard pack tracks. If it's wet, they have a new mud tyre coming out that looks real good, so we'll be testing that soon. And they also have a G4, I think, or another dry tyre. But this is kind of, the G5's pretty much the good all-round tyre. And tyre inserts, we're on Cushcore again. I've been with Cushcore for a good 3 or 4 years now, and yeah, wouldn't go past them, so pretty pumped to be with those guys again. So normally with a cockpit, I don't know if it's coming from motocross or I don't know where I've got it from, but I like to have quite a high front end because I'm not that tall, but yeah, I like to have it quite high. So normally I go for a 30mm rise bars. Most are like 7 degrees back sweep, I think. So I'll run them like that, quite rolled quite far back, and levers quite high. And I think they're 780 most of the time. I know with 29ers I like to go a wee bit wider. It just feels a little bit more comfortable. So sometimes 800 on open tracks, but we live in Innerleithen, or Innerleithens are local, and the widest tree is about 801mm. So I like to run them a lot narrower here, like 770, 780 maybe at a push. But yeah, that kind of varies with tracks. And stem, I would normally run a 40mm stem, but we're still playing around with cups and reach at the minute, so I've not settled on a definite yet, but I would imagine it'll be 40. I like 40. Again, with 29ers, a nice short cockpit just seems to make you feel a little bit more stable, but you want to get the balance of weight on the front wheel as well, so that's a tricky one, but we're at 50 at the moment. Brakes is a funny one. I'm a nibbler with brakes. I'm always fiddling. I swear every race my brake heights change. Joe this year, my mechanic, I'm pretty sure we're going to decide on an angle, and it's going to stay like that for the rest of my career. But at the minute, it's just out the box, and I give it a bit of a that feels about right. And distance, I like them both the same. They have to both be the same reach. And bite, I actually like them biting quite close to the bar, which all mechanics absolutely hate, because every run I come down I'm moaning that they're coming at the lever, but that's my bad because I run them so far in. So yeah, I like to run them quite far into the bar, and quite inward as well. My actual levers are really far in the bars, and again I think that's a motocross thing. I just like them out the way, so if you clip something, it's your hand that's taking it and it's not pulling on your brake. So being particular on a single component, that's a difficult one. I'm pretty blasé on most of it. It just feels right, and then I ride it. I'd probably go cockpit. You know when you sit on a bike and your hands and your fingers are just in the right place and it feels right? I'd probably go with that. One thing that I hate, and I seem to be the only person to do it, is my shifter has to be really far in, because I seem to have, I don't know if it's a chunky thumb, or I don't run my thumb under the bar, I run it quite far out, and I always take the skin off my thumb, and that is my pet hate. There's nothing worse than pulling gloves on and off and ripping skin off. So shifter out the way, that's probably the number one. There's probably two things when it comes to a bike that I would love to do and have constantly, and that is complete and utter silence. Like most people like a quiet bike, but a completely silent bike is brilliant. All you can hear is tyre noise. That is very satisfying. And also for me, seat. If it was up to me, I'd find a way just to not have seats. I'd like just cut them off here and put like a little foam ball, or what was it? It was a bike years ago. Was it Trek? Was it Trek that had the seat, or Scott maybe? I don't know. There was a bike brand years ago had a big old flat foam seat on it. That was I'm down with that. That's my jam right there. Like a motocross bike, you've got lots of opportunity to sit down. I like seat bouncing as well, so I kind of need a seat, but I just hate when you're riding down, it's between your legs, or you get a little bit loose, or you're hanging off the back, because I love to do that, and you hit a hole and you shaft the back of the seat. Oh, yeah, seats just get in the way. I don't think we need those. Dad taught me a saying once: the people that you meet on the way up, you'll always meet on the way back down. The team swap for me was it was a difficult one. I really liked. Thomas, the team, the Commonsal 100 was had one of the best years, the funnest years I've ever had. Absolutely loved those guys. Yeah, everything was really meant. I honestly thought I'd be there for a long time, and then as the year went on, I honestly didn't expect to be tickling into that top 10 towards the end of the year. And as that started happening, I started realising small things like being able to go to a suspension man and say, I need this, and being able to get it, or having an issue with a bike that you wanted personalised, being able to have it, being on like a sub team, you know, not a main factory team, you don't really get that support, you can't have that turnaround. So when the opportunity came along to be on a factory team and knowing you have that one-to-one, whatever you want, whenever you need it, was an opportunity every rider works towards their whole career. So when that I wouldn't say it fell on my lap, but the opportunity was there, and it was perfect. Yeah, had quite a few offers. Every single season I've got to the end of, I've been the little kid frantically emailing every single team on the circuit trying to get a ride for the next again year. And last year Pitch was the only guy that hooked me up, and then this year I had, I think, 5 or 6 at one point sitting on my lap, and I didn't have a clue what I was supposed to be doing with them. It was a difficult decision, and you know, yeah, there's a lot of things to consider. So it was tricky, but this opportunity was right. I've been with these guys before, and teammates are going to be good, and yeah, this was perfect. This was right. Yeah, the bike swap situation was tricky. The Commonsal I really enjoyed. It's quite funny. I think there's a lot of hype with them at the minute. They've won Bike of the Year 2 years in a row. I think they've done very, very well in selecting the right riders at the right time. And I wouldn't say the luck, you know, that's a weird word sometimes, but the bike was good. But you can always take a bad bike, put a really good rider on it, and they're still going to get good results. You can't take a great bike, put a bad rider on them, and make them great. You know, it's that simple. If you're a good rider, you'll make a bike work, and if you've got the knowledge on how to set up a bike, you can make any bike good if you've got the knowledge. So the bike to begin with was a part of it, and then towards the end, I just forgot about that and just wanted the right people around me with the right setup, and this was it at the time. I'd say you got to say Fort William. I'm Scottish, and last year was it's just, I keep saying dreams, but that just blew my mind. I keep watching that video at nights, and well, I don't keep watching them, that's sad, but I've watched that a couple of times, and every time it brings goosebumps and tears to my eyes. Fort William for any rider, but if you're British and then if you're Scottish and then you only live a few hours away, that is just the pinnacle. And yeah, I'd love to go and recreate last year again this year. So yeah, Fort William's definitely a peaker for sure.
Oh, shift that leg, put that leg forward a bit.
Get your leg forward. Imagine you were listening from outside. Spit on it. Get your leg forward. Bounce a bit.